citizens! Happy New Year! During this awkward transitional period where everyone resigns themselves to writing the date wrong for a few weeks, there are always two types of lists that inevitably crop up on the blogs and vlogs and other logs of the internet. The year-end recap and the New Year's resolution. From the title of this video, you can probably tell which one I chose. I did consider doing a best of 2013 recap, but then I started thinking about it and I realized I actually sort of hated most of the books I read this year. So then I considered doing a worst of 2013 recap, but that was just too depressing. However, this whole thought process did lead me to my first literary resolution for the coming year. Stop reading bad books. I solemnly swear that if I get halfway through a book and am still not enjoying it, I will put it down instead of forcing myself to finish it. Life is too short to waste time on books that are boring, pretentious, poorly written, or just plain terrible. 2. Clean out my bookshelves. I do want a large library in my house someday, but I'd rather my collection be filled with books that I love and cherish rather than books I picked up on a whim, read once, and will probably never read again. Plus, getting rid of the books that I couldn't care less about will make room for the books that I do care about that I have yet to purchase. Related to this is number 3. Visit the library rather than the bookstore to fulfill book cravings. I actually used to have a rule for myself when I was younger that I would only buy books I had already read, while books I was merely interested in would come from the library. This seems like a good rule to go back to, as it will seriously cut down on the number of books that end up cluttering my shelves, and it'll save me some money in the process. 4. Read fiction with the eye of a writer. Since I started screenwriting, I've been watching movies a lot more critically than I used to, which makes it easy to spot the act breaks and character arcs and all the other strings that tie the story together. Books are harder, possibly because they're longer and I tend to read them over a period of days or weeks rather than in one sitting, which makes it more difficult to digest the structure as a whole. But if I can get into the habit of reading novels the same way I watch movies, it will definitely improve my writing skills, though it does sometimes take some of the joy and wonder out of the experience. And finally, number 5, edit my NaNoWriMo novel. November 2013 marked the first time that I both reached my word count goal and finished the novel's story, so I'm taking this as a sign that I should actually follow through on this one and try turning it into a book that wouldn't make readers cringe. So I'm looking forward to a year of rounding out characters, fixing plot holes, evening out the style, and generally wanting to tear my hair out. If you are also planning on editing your Nano novel in the coming year, you should check out the Now What section of the NaNoWriMo site, which has lots of great tips and resources for how to deal with your 50,000 word monstrosity after the adrenaline of November has passed. What are some of your reading or writing resolutions? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. As usual, I will be back on Wednesday, but Late Night Lit will not be returning on Saturday because it's actually becoming a podcast. Candace and Sarah will still be hosting the show, which will now be called Late Night Love Affair, and it will be posted once a month, probably on a Thursday, and you won't have to wait a week between segments of the same discussion. I'll let you know when we have more specific details, but until then, stay literary. Visit the library rather than the bookstore for fulfilling. Visit the library rather than the 50,000 word monstrosity after the adrenaline of November. Adrenaline.